Now, it doesn't stop on Sunday. You got ball Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. That's the beautiful part about week one. It's just the gift that keeps on giving. Monday, 8 Eastern, ESPN, you got the Clemson Tigers. The new look Clemson Tigers now. Cade Klubnik going to be out there dealing, going to Durham, North Carolina. Play the Duke Blue Devils. Mike Elko and company. Got a quarterback down there. And if you're just now kind of getting looped into what's going on in the college football world, one, welcome. We're glad to have you here. Make sure you're subscribed to the show. But Riley Leonard, in NFL draft circles, maybe the best quarterback, not named Caleb Williams and Drake May. Now, we don't pretend to be an NFL draft show, so leave that as it is. But they like him a lot. They like him a lot. He could be a game changer. For Clemson, they are not overlooking this one. Everyone kind of has their absurd alert segments they're doing right now, and that's fine. But, I mean, Clemson, they understand how good Duke is. They understand they got to go on the road. They understand that they have some new pieces they're breaking in. Dabo Swinney, if they win this game by 1 or 41, they're happy with it. So Clemson, they're taking this one seriously. They're dialed in. And all that upset talk, if it happens, Clemson's not going to perceive it as an upset. They think Duke's a really good football team because they won 9 football games a year ago. It's not getting past them down there in Clemson, South Carolina. Now, Duke, Mike Elko and company, man, they love this spot. And they should love this spot because they're at home. They're on a weekday. And you and I both know weird things happen in college football when it's not played on Saturday. And they are a double-digit underdog. They love it. You want to know why? Because they have nothing to lose. Yes, they want to play for an ACC title and all that. I understand that. They could still do that even if they lose this game. But they feel like they have nothing to lose. And there is nothing more dangerous than a team with nothing to lose. Because you can play fast. You can play free. There's no pressure on you. You can just go sling it around the yard, go play football, have some fun. See if you can make something happen. It's a dangerous team when you're playing loose. So I think some part of this, too, when it comes to who wins this football game, who connects on that first punch? Because if Duke is able to, let's just say they go up 10-0 on Clemson. There's a lot of new pieces at Clemson. There's a new quarterback in Cade Klubnik, who I think is going to be really good when it's all said and done and when he's finished at Clemson. But even so, in his first start as the guy, game one, I understand he started games before at Clemson. I'm not here to talk about that. In this spot, though, on the road, you don't have that experience to drop back on. You don't have that, oh, we've been here before feeling. No, you haven't been here before. This is completely new to you. And oh, by the way, they have a quarterback and an offense that has been there a few times and that has a lot of ability. They scored around 30 points a game last year. They bring back 70+% of that production. Like, this could get a little bit slippery if they have to climb back into it. Not because they don't have the pieces, but because this would be, I think, a little bit discombobulating for Cade Klubnik and Garrett Riley. Now, if Clemson goes up, let's say Clemson draws first blood and they get rolling and they're up 17-3 at half, it is going to be paramount for Duke to keep their wits about them. Because everything I said about, hey, they got nothing to lose, no problem, go out there and sling it. If they get down, I don't anticipate this football team having this attitude, but it's a possibility to where it's like, hey, man, we weren't even supposed to be in this game to begin with. Who cares? It is what it is. We weren't supposed to be here. We're here now. But we're already down. Do we really want to, circle the wagons? They are the champs. I don't anticipate that to be their reaction, but I think it's a possibility that you would have to guard against. So who draws first blood in this one's going to be a very, very big piece of this. Big matchup I'm watching here. The Clemson team speed defensively against Riley Leonard's legs. Riley Leonard ran for 13 touchdowns last year. And I don't think this is a situation for Duke's offensive approach where they're going to out-scheme and out-match up Clemson. I don't think they have the better players across the board. But in a situation where you have the quarterback run available to you, whether he's ad-libbing, which we haven't seen quite as much from Riley Leonard, doesn't mean he can't do it with his physical ability, or if you're calling a lot of quarterback runs to begin with, design quarterback runs give the offense the edge in the sense that you have everybody blocked but one individual. Typically on a run play, you have 9 to block 11. In a situation like this, you got 10 to block 11. So Riley Leonard, you make one guy miss, hey, we might be to the crib. And I don't need pancake blocks. I just need enough to where we can spring Riley Leonard, give him a chance to go one-on-one with that safety or that linebacker, whoever it is. If you win enough of those matchups and Clemson doesn't fit that right consistently, could get interesting. I say this a lot, but quarterbacks with dual threat abilities, they're just game plan breakers. because as much as we haven't seen Riley Leonard ad-lib, doesn't mean he can't do it. And you could have the perfect scheme drawn up if you're Clemson. You dial up the perfect blitz. He doesn't see that boundary corner coming. Last minute, he spins out of it. New play. If you swing and miss on the perfect scheme because the quarterback makes a play with his legs, things get interesting. Like I said, brand new play. The play that you dialed it up for was correct, but you didn't get home. And now Riley Leonard gets to do something with his feet. Wide receiver breaks open downfield. You're kind of palms up at the sideline saying, what are we doing? Coach, I don't know. He's mobile. He broke what we had game planned for him. So that's going to be interesting to watch. I don't know if, again, I don't think it's a thing where they're just going to be able to overpower Clemson. I don't think it's going to be hand the ball off. Barrett Carter and Jeremiah Trotter, two of the best linebackers in the country. Peter Woods up front. I think he's going to be someone the country gets introduced to in a very big way this upcoming season. I'm excited to watch him. That's a 5-star true freshman playing up front for Clemson. So keep an eye on that one. That's going to be an interesting one to watch. The new offense for Clemson is going to be fascinating because you have Cade Klubnik stepping into the race car that Garrett Riley's offense in, and there's going to be some very real poise required of him in this spot. Yes, it's on the road. Yes, it's the only game. It's nationally televised. Like, it's the spot for you. But Duke's defense last season averaged 2 takeaways a game. They're one of the best teams in the country in turning it over. So for Cade Klubnik, with what he's done historically at the high school level and the great game he had against North Carolina, like, it's going to be tempting now to try and force the issue. First game of the year, you're dialed up, man. You're juiced. You're wanting to sling the ball around the yard. You're ready to prove to everybody who you are. It's going to be important to keep him within this system. If you're Garrett Riley, maybe a little pep talk before the game gets rolling here. Hey, don't need you to do too much. We need you to take a profit. Had a great coach tell me this one time. You don't go broke getting paid. Just get paid. Take the check down. If they're dialing it up, get the ball out of your hands quick. You don't like it? Let's check out of it. It needs to be a consistent, just take what the defense gives you. If it's not the big home run play, that's okay. Because if we do what we're supposed to do as a Clemson offense under Garrett Riley, that big play will be there in the third quarter, in the fourth quarter, if we do the right things right now. So the poise for him is going to be crucial. It's a NASCAR of an offense. They're going to go fast. You got to be able to set the tempo, got to be able to stay within yourself and not make that big mistake. Because the last thing you want to do for this Duke football team with who they have playing quarterback and what they do defensively is to give them extra possessions. Not to mention what that could do to the crowd. This is the game for Duke. This is the game. That stadium, if they're getting up for one game, it's this one. Like I said, national spotlight. Got the conference champs coming to town. If you turn the ball over early, they're going to breathe so much life into that stadium. That's going to be hard to overcome later in the game. So that's going to be important. But here's the thing with me with this game. Here's my pick. Even if Cade Klubnik struggles a little bit, even if he's not looking like a 4-year starter as a freshman, as a sophomore, even if he doesn't look like the guy, you can still turn around and hand the ball to number 1, Will Shipley. Will Shipley runs with so much physicality. I think he's going to be great this year. He's been great previously for Clemson. You can just let him churn those legs, wear on the defense, and let him get his. So you want to have everything available to you if you're Clemson. You want to be able to be explosive and dial it up a little bit as the game wears on. But handing the ball to Will Shipley and leaning on him is an enormous luxury. I think that's the differentiator in this game. So I think Clemson wins this football game. I think it's huge for them that they have the time to prep for Riley Leonard. Dabo Swinney, his entire time at Clemson, he is 12-2 in week 1 football games. And one of those was to Georgia, who ended up winning the national championship. Actually, they're both to Georgia, but one was in 2014, and one was to the Georgia team that went on and won the Natty. So his resume in week 1 games, pretty solid. I don't think this is any different. I think Clemson ends up winning this game 34-23. So I would not bet the line here. I would not bet Clemson minus 13. I could see them backdooring here. I could see them pulling away late and maybe tacking on a field goal or a touchdown in the fourth quarter to put them over that spread, but I wouldn't touch it. I don't like it. I like Clemson 34-23. Hey y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.